Alien Princess was ready to jump and end it all, but the human's words stopped her. Ben Carver noticed the woman at the viewport because her hands were wrong. Not alien wrong, though she was clearly that, violet skin catching the starlight, but positioned wrong. Fingers splayed at precise angles, wrists rotated outward, spine locked straight. He'd spent 3 hours fixing a coolant exchanger, and his brain was still in diagnostic mode. The way she stood triggered every warning instinct he'd learned around malfunctioning machinery. He wiped grease onto his coveralls and walked closer. She didn't turn, 7 feet tall with silver-white hair and a profile too elegant for this dying station. She flinched. "I do not understand your presence here." Fixing things. Exchanger blew a seal. He gestured at the maintenance panel hanging open behind him. "You okay?" Her head turned. Not a human movement, too smooth, too complete. When she looked at him fully, he forgot about the exchanger. 4 pupils. Yellow-green irises with 4 distinct pupils arranged in vertical pairs, surrounded by dark markings. They moved independently, tracking his face, and he had the impression of being read like technical specs. "You are human," she said. Last I checked, he tried a smile. "Ben Carver, station engineer. Look, you're standing pretty close to that viewport, and people don't usually..." "Okay, high-gravity worlders, something about emotion being dangerous. Gehenna's Reach didn't get many visitors. I'm still Ben. You got a name?" She blinked, all 4 pupils contracting in sequence, and her luminescent skin pulsed brighter before settling. "You stopped me." The flat delivery made his gut clench. "Stopped you from what?" "Completing my purpose." Purpose, hands positioned just so, viewport close enough to touch, airlock 3 meters left. "Shit!" He moved between her and the viewport. "Okay, no, we're not doing that." Her eyes tracked him with unnerving precision. "Your interference is not required. This does not concern you." "Yeah, it does. Whatever's going on, there's got to be better options." "There are not." She said it with finality. "My continued existence creates danger. Ceasing it resolves multiple critical variables." "That's a fucked up way to talk about killing yourself." Her expression shifted slightly, surprise. "You speak directly." "Not great at subtle." He ran a hand through his hair. "You want to tell me why dying's the answer?" She studied him, her skin flickered, luminescence pulsing like a visible heartbeat. "You do not recognize my species." "I know your theory. That's it." "You stopped a formal death ritual without understanding." Something almost like humor touched her voice. "Your ignorance may have been fortunate." Station alarms shrieked. Red lights strobed across the viewport. His neural implant flashed. Life support critical. Cascade failure imminent. Fuck. He pulled diagnostics, pressure dropping, temperature spiking, coolant's not circulating, 20 minutes before reactor safeties shut down life support. She closed the distance in 3 strides. "Show me the failure point." "What?" "Technical specifications, now." Her fingers moved in rapid sign language, thinking with her hands. He forwarded the data. She absorbed it in seconds, pupils dilating and contracting independently. "The primary exchanger," she said, "Ithri design, Generation 7 modular system." "Yeah, we've got your tech bought secondhand. No human technician will repair this correctly." She moved toward maintenance access. "The control architecture requires thermal flow principles your species does not." "Hey," he caught up. "I've been fixing impossible shit for 15 years. You want to help?" "Great, don't assume I'm useless." She glanced at him, all 4 pupils focusing simultaneously. "You believe you can assist?" "I know I can. Question is whether you'll help me keep 63 people from suffocating." Her mouth twitched, barely visible, instantly gone. "Your lack of deference is unusual." "Get that a lot." He opened the panel fully, revealing alien tech that looked half organic. "So, you got a name?" She hesitated. Her hands moved through sign language that looked like saying goodbye. Saris Val." "All right, Saris, let's not die today." She stepped beside him, close enough that he felt heat radiating from her skin. When she reached past him, her arm brushed his shoulder. Her skin flared brighter before she jerked back, breathing unsteady. "You okay?" "Functional." The word came tight. She adjusted position, maintaining distance. "We begin with thermal couplings." They worked, No more talk, just repair rhythm. His hands guided by intuition, hers by systematic knowledge. She was fast and precise. He was adaptive and creative. Different approaches, same desperation. The station groaned. Temperature climbed. His shirt stuck to his back while Saris's luminescence intensified. Her breathing went shallow and controlled. There, she said, pointing to a coupling buried behind 3 layers. That junction is failing. But access requires. Give me 30 seconds. He squeezed into the gap and got hands on the coupling. Corroded, fused to housing. Need more room. The pressure housing cannot be safely removed while... The seal ruptured. Superheated coolant sprayed his arms. He jerked back, but the housing tore free, and suddenly 200 kilos of metal trapped his leg against the bulkhead with force he felt in his teeth. He couldn't breathe, couldn't process except white-hot pain and weight crushing his shin and the knowledge he'd just killed everyone. Saris's hands closed on the housing. She lifted. Violet skin blazing like a star, luminescence flooding the space. Her face locked between concentration and agony. Metal screamed. His leg came free. She held the housing steady while he dragged himself clear, then set it down with control that looked like it cost everything. She collapsed against the bulkhead, breathing ragged, skin glowing so bright he squinted. Her heart pounded visibly through translucent skin, 4 pupils blown wide, unfocused. Thanks, he managed. His leg was fire and numbness. Can you finish it? She stared at him, pupils contracting slowly. You are injured. I'm conscious. Can you finish the coupling? Her hands shook, reaching for tools. She finished while he talked her through the bypass, both moving on autopilot and adrenaline. When the system cycled online, coolant flowing, temperature dropping, alarms silent, they stayed in the crawl space, too exhausted to move. What's your name? He asked again. You already know it. Felt like I should ask properly, since you saved my life. She turned, strange eyes finding his in dim light. Her skin still glowed faintly, pulse visible beneath surface. Cirrus Vol, crown heir to the Aetheri sovereignty, accused of regicide, kinslaying, and treason, hunted, exiled. She paused, stopped. He smiled despite the pain. Ben Carver, disgraced shuttle pilot, mediocre engineer, terrible at recognizing suicide rituals. He extended his hand. Nice to meet you. She looked at his hand like it might detonate. Then slowly she placed her palm against his. Her skin burned fever-hot, and where they touched, she glowed. Cirrus stayed because the work wasn't finished. That's what she told Amos Trent when he appeared outside medical with his hand on his sidearm. Ben's leg was being set. Simple fracture, 2 weeks in a brace, and Trent had come to decide what happened to the alien. The exchanger requires calibration, Cirrus said. The repair will fail within 72 hours. No human technician possesses the necessary expertise. Trent's jaw worked. His missing ear caught the lighting. You fix it, you leave. Understood. Ben watched from the doorway. Trent didn't trust easily, and he sure as hell didn't trust Aetheri. But the man was practical, and dead was dead. They worked for 3 days. Ben ignored medic Kellen Moss's protests about weight-bearing. Kellen was small and fierce, with close-cropped hair and a way of looking at patients that suggested she'd fight death personally. You're supposed to be resting, Kellen said on day 2. I'm sitting while I work. That's bullshit. She handed him a thermal wrap anyway, then glanced toward Cirrus. She doesn't sleep much. Her species probably needs less. High-gravity evolution. Kellen studied him. You like her. She's competent. Ben, he sighed. Yeah, I like her, but... Good. Someone should. Kellen approached Cirrus with casual confidence. Mind if I run a bioscan? Medical protocols. Ceres turned, all 4 pupils focusing. I am not personnel. You're working here, breathing my air, 5 minutes. Ben watched Cirrus calculate, then nod. Kellen scanned efficiently, asking about Aetheri physiology. Something in the medic's genuine curiosity made Cirrus's posture ease. Your heart rate's elevated, Kellen frowned. Stress hormones off the chart. When did you last sleep properly? Sleep is not the primary concern. It should be. You're running on fumes. She glanced at Ben. Both of you, take a break. Medical orders. They ended up in hydroponics because Cirrus had never seen earth plants in artificial conditions. Kellen's domain was green chaos, vertical gardens, herbs and vegetables, air thick with moisture and soil smell. Cirrus moved through it like touring an alien world. Your species cultivates food differently, she said, touching a tomato plant. Variety keeps us sane. Ben leaned against a beam. What do Etheri eat? Nutrient paste, precisely calibrated for individual metabolism. That sounds depressing. Her mouth curved slightly. It is efficient. You say that word a lot. My people value efficiency. What do you value? The question escaped before he thought. Personally, not what you were taught. She went still. Her skin flickered. I do not understand. Sure you do. What does Cirrus want? She looked at him, all four pupils focused, then turned to the plants. I want to understand how you improvise, how you solve problems without complete information. You see a broken system and simply fix it, as though solutions emerge from intuition. That's just being human. Perhaps, she touched another plant gently, or perhaps that is being you. They fell into routine, morning calibrations, afternoons teaching each other. She showed him mathematical elegance. He showed her improvised solutions. Together they found middle ground neither had known existed. 2 weeks in, they worked a repair in zero-gravity storage. Cirrus moved through weightlessness like she was born to it. Ben's inner ear rebelled. Hand me the calibrator, he said, braced against cargo. She pushed off, gliding toward him, reached for the tool, their hands brushed. 2 seconds, fingers against palm. Her skin flared so bright he saw spots, and she gasped before jerking away, tumbling until she caught a strut. Cirrus? She was breathing hard, heart pounding visibly. All four pupils dilated, staring at her hand like it had betrayed her. What happened? Physical contact. Between non-family members, it triggers physiological responses my people suppress. But you touched me before when we shook hands. That was formal, expected. This was, she looked at him, something in her expression making his chest tight, voluntary. He should have left it alone. Instead, was it bad? No, quiet, that is the problem. They finished in silence, but something had shifted. He caught her watching him. She asked questions about human emotions with curiosity that didn't quite mask personal interest. Her posture relaxed incrementally near him. One evening in the observation deck, the same place they'd met, he found her staring at stars. His heart jumped before he realized her hands weren't positioned for death. Can't sleep. I do not want to waste the time. She glanced at him. Your leg heals well. Kellen's good. He joined her, maintaining distance. You want to tell me why you were here that first night? The real reason? Her luminescence dimmed. You know the reason. I know you said you were stopping yourself. From what? She told him. About the coup that murdered her family. About engineered accusations making her the scapegoat. About running until running seemed more exhausting than stopping. They sent hunters, she said quietly. Military. I knew they would find me, so I came here and decided to conclude it on my own terms. Anger built in his chest. That's wrong, all of it. What they did, what they blamed you for. She turned, all four pupils focusing. Wrong is not relevant. Political calculus required. Fuck political calculus. They murdered your family and made you take the fall. That's evil. The word hit her physically. She swayed, skin flickering. You speak as though morality supersedes survival. Sometimes it does. That is a human perspective. Maybe, but it's also true. Something in her expression cracked. When she started trembling, physiological cost of sustained emotional exposure, he saw immediately. Hey, he moved closer. You okay? Managing the cascade, it will pass. Can I help? Physical contact will intensify. He took her hand anyway. Just held it, steady pressure. She glowed where they touched, luminescence spreading up her arm, but her trembling slowed. Her breathing steadied, her heart rate stopped racing. How did you know? She whispered. Didn't, just seemed right. They stood there, hands joined, stars burning cold beyond the viewport. Her skin pulsed with light where they connected, and he realized she was letting him see it. Choosing not to suppress. Choosing him. Station alarms blared, external contact. 3 ships dropping from faster-than-light Etheri signatures, holding formation outside weapons range. Trent's voice cut across comms. All personnel to stations, we have hostiles. Ceres pulled free, skin going dark. They found me. Ben pulled up tactical, 3 Hunter-class ships, military configuration, broadcasting demands, surrender the fugitive. Compliance ensures station survival. They are here for me, Sarah said flatly. I will go. The station will be spared. Like hell, he grabbed her arm. You think Trent's letting you walk into an airlock? You think I am? Ben, no, we just fixed this place. You don't get to die after all that work. She pulled free, desperation in her eyes. They will destroy the station to eliminate witnesses. Everyone dies because of my presence. So we figure something else out. He moved between her and the exit. We improvise. This is not a broken exchanger, this is war. Then we fight. He met her gaze. Someone should have stopped you that first night. I'm stopping you now. Her skin flickered through emotions, fear, resignation, and beneath it all, desperate hope. You do not comprehend what you are offering. I know exactly what I'm offering. You stay. We find another way. Together. The word hit her harder than any accusation. Together. Like it was foreign, dangerous, worth the risk. Outside, the Hunter ships waited. Inside, Trent demanded answers. And between them, in the observation deck where she'd prepared to die, Ceres made a choice. Together, she said quietly, then louder with defiance. Show me how humans fight. The station entered lockdown at 300 hours. Blast doors sealed, defenses powered up, and Amos Trent's voice cut across every speaker. All personnel maintain positions, non-essential sections depressurizing in 10 minutes. We have 24 hours to comply with Etheri demands or face boarding. Ben found Ceres outside her quarters, flanked by armed guards. Her skin had gone dark, luminescence suppressed, hands positioned in neutral diplomacy. Trent's orders, one guard said, confined until command decides. Decides what? Ben's voice came hard. Whether to hand her over? Above our pay grade, Carver. Ceres spoke before he could argue. It is logical. 63 human lives versus 1 Etheri fugitive. The mathematics are clear. Fuck the mathematics. He stepped closer. You two remember Sector 7 when the exchanger blew? She's why you're breathing. The guards exchanged glances. One shifted uncomfortably. Orders are orders. Ben waited until they'd sealed Ceres inside. Then he found Kellen. The medic was in hydroponics, harvesting herbs like she was attacking them. She saw Ben and pointed shears at him. If you're here to tell me Trent's right, save it. I need help breaking her out. Kellen lowered the shears. I was hoping you'd say that. They used maintenance tunnels, Ben's territory, routes he'd mapped over 3 years. Kellen created a medical emergency in Sector 4 that pulled both guards away. Ben bypassed the door lock in 3 minutes. Ceres looked up from where she sat, hands moving through sign language. What are you doing? Saving you from your own logic. He pulled up a tunnel access panel. Come on. This will only make things complicated. That's my specialty. They descended into lower engineering, where heat and noise made surveillance difficult. Pipes rattled, coolant hissed, and the reactor's throb provided rhythm to their escape. Ceres stopped in a junction, skin flickering. This is pointless. You are delaying the inevitable. I'm buying us time to think. There is nothing to think about. Her voice rose, all 4 pupils dilating. My life is worth less than this station's population. I should have died weeks ago. Stop talking like your life doesn't matter. He moved into her space. Because it does, to Kellen, to the people you saved, to me. You barely know me. I know enough to know you're worth fighting for. She made a sound close to bitter laughter. You do not understand Etheri culture. Individual survival is secondary to collective stability. My existence threatens. Your existence threatens people who murdered your family. There's a difference. The difference is irrelevant. She was breathing hard, skin blazing. I am a problem requiring solution. My death resolves. Don't, his hands found her shoulders. Don't reduce yourself to a problem. She stared at him, something cracking open. I do not want to die anymore. The words came raw. These weeks with you reminded me what it feels like to want something beyond duty, to want mornings working beside someone who treats me as though I am. Human? He kept his hands steady despite her burning skin. You don't have to be human, just be you. The confession cost everything. Her heart rate spiked visibly, luminescence flooding until she lit the tunnel like a dying star. She gasped, pressing a hand to her chest, and he recognized the cascade. "Hey, look at me." He guided her down, kneeling. "Breathe, like we practiced." "Yes, you can. In for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, with me." He talked her through it, watching her pupils contract and dilate as her body fought for equilibrium. Her skin pulsed with her heartbeat, and he kept his hands on hers, grounding her. 5 minutes. When her breathing steadied and luminescence dimmed, she looked at him with an expression he felt in his chest. "How did you know?" "I didn't. Just seemed like you needed someone to stay." Cirrus's neural implant chimed. Incoming message on Etheri frequency. "What is it?" She pulled up the display, translating. "Etheri military channel. Encrypted." She opened it. A young Etheri woman appeared, pale lavender skin and silver blonde hair. Her eyes darted nervously. "Crown Heir Cirrus Val. I am Jiva, Communications Officer, Squadron Koran. Commander Thex has orders to destroy Gehenna's Reach after securing you. The sovereignty cannot risk witnesses. Everyone dies regardless of compliance." The message cut out? Ben felt cold. They were always going to kill us. "Yes," Cirrus's voice went flat. "Surrendering accomplishes nothing except my execution." "So we fight, but we need leverage." He pulled her up. "You said you were accused of killing your family. Is there proof you didn't?" "Proof exists, encrypted records of the coup plotters' communications, security footage showing the actual assassins. I copied files during my escape, but the data was lost when my ship was damaged." "Where were they stored?" Her hand moved to her temple, touching her neural implant. "Here, embedded in secondary storage, but I cannot access them without decryption equipment." Ben pulled up his interface. "Jenny, you listening?" The station AI crackled through speakers. "Always, Ben. Can you access and decrypt Etheri neural implant data?" Pause. "That requires direct interface with the communications array and 47% of my remaining processing power. It would expose the transmission to every relay in the sector." "So everyone would know the truth." "Everyone would know Sarisval survived, is on this station, and possesses evidence against the current government." Jenny's voice softened. "She becomes a symbol and a permanent target." Cirrus shook her head. "I cannot ask this station to become a battleground." "You're not asking," Ben said. "I'm offering. We broadcast the truth, prove you're innocent, make it impossible for them to kill you quietly." "They will still kill me, just openly." "Maybe, but your people will know what their government did. Some might question whether emotional suppression works if it allows this." He met her gaze. "And you'll have chosen to fight instead of die." Her skin flickered through emotions. Fear, hope, wonder. "You would risk this station for me." "I'd risk more than that." Her hand found his. "Why?" 3 years ago, I lost my crew in a shuttle accident. Been running since, hiding here, telling myself I'd never care enough to risk losing again." He squeezed her hand. "Then you showed up with your suicide stance and 4 weird eyes and brilliant brain, and you made me remember what it feels like to want someone to stay." Her luminescence flared, not danger, just emotion, visible and chosen. "I want to stay," she whispered. "I want more mornings beside you. More arguments about efficiency versus improvisation. More moments where you look at me as though I am simply Cirrus." "Then we fight for that." He pulled up station layout. "Jenny, prep the communications array." "Already running calculations. You'll need physical access to the main hub." "Where's Trent?" "Command center organizing defenses. He won't like this." "He doesn't have to like it." Ben looked at Cirrus. "Think you can negotiate with a prejudiced ex-military overseer?" She straightened, royal bearing returning. "I have negotiated with people who wanted me dead. I can negotiate with someone who merely distrusts me." They made their way through tunnels, Kellen joining with medical supplies and a sidearm. When they emerged in command, Trent spun with weapon drawn. "Stand down," Ben said. "We have a plan. You won't like it, but you'll help." Trent's jaw worked. "Give me one reason I shouldn't lock you all up." "Because the Etheri kill us regardless," Ben said flatly. "One of their officers warned us. We comply. They take Cirrus and destroy the station. No witnesses." Something in Trent's expression shifted. Recognition. What's the plan? Cirrus stepped forward. We broadcast the truth about the coup using your communications array. It exposes the government's crimes and makes my execution politically costly. It will not stop them, but it may buy time and turn me into a symbol they cannot simply eliminate. It paints a target on this station. The target already exists, Ben said. At least this way we shoot back. Trent studied Cirrus. His hand moved to where his ear should have been. You saved my people. Twice. He lowered his weapon. Let's make it 3 times. They worked through the night, Ben and Cirrus preparing broadcast systems, Kellen organizing medical supplies, Trent positioning security forces. Jenny coordinated everything. In quiet hours before dawn, Cirrus asked the question Ben had been avoiding. What do you want, Ben? After this? Assuming we survive? He stopped working. Honestly? Always. I want you to keep teaching me about thermal architecture. I want to argue about improvisation versus protocol. I want to figure out what ethereal food you might actually like. He met her gaze. I want you to stay. However long you'll stay. Her skin glowed softly. I want the same. All of it. Outside, the hunter ships waited. Inside, they prepared for war, and between them, in silence before the storm, they held hands and chose each other over survival. The ethereal breached at 5:47 hours. The outer hull shuddered as cutting torches ate through plating. Alarms shrieked. Ben worked the communications hub with hands that refused to shake, routing power through secondary systems while Jenny guided him. 30 seconds to broadcast capability, the AI said. Cirrus needs direct neural connection. She'll need to maintain contact during transmission. How long? 4 minutes, maybe 5. 4 minutes exposed while ethereal military swept the station. Ben looked at Cirrus, calibrating the array with precision that didn't hide the tremor in her fingers. I can hold, she said quietly. We all can. Kellen appeared with medical kit and sidearm. Trent's got security at every choke point. They come for this hub. They go through us. The first explosion rattled the deck, distant, moving closer. Ben pulled up tactical. Trent's forces falling back, buying time 1 corridor at a time. His neural implant chimed. Jiva's voice came through, tense. They're advancing through sectors 2 and 5. Commander Thex is leading the assault toward your position. I'm feeding you false tactical data. It might buy minutes. Why help? Cirrus asked. Because what they did to your family wasn't honorable. What they're doing now isn't either. A pause. If you survive, Crown Heir, I would like to know if what you broadcast is true. About emotion. The channel cut. Ben activated broadcast. Jenny, we're ready. Cirrus, place your hand on the console and authorize neural connection. Cirrus moved to the console. Her skin flared bright as connection established. Beginning decryption. The door exploded inward. Maintenance access, not main entrance. Shaped charge blew the panel across the room. Ethereal soldiers poured through. Kellen fired, dropping the first. Ben grabbed a plasma cutter and activated it. Keep working, he shouted to Cirrus, then threw himself at the nearest soldier. The fight was brutal. 3 soldiers against 2 humans in close quarters. Ben burned through armor. Kellen put rounds into another. The third slammed Ben against the bulkhead, vision going white, but Kellen's shot took the soldier down. Ben dragged himself up, ribs screaming. Cirrus still at console, entire body glowing, hand fused to interface. 40% decrypted, she gasped. More footsteps, heavier. Commander Thex Corin filled the doorway, plum-dark skin marked with ritual scars, 3 clouded pupils but aim perfect. He held plasma rifle trained on Ben. Step away from the console. His voice carried no emotion. Crown Heir Cirrus Val, you are called to answer for crimes against the sovereignty. I am authorized to offer warriors death. You have earned that much. I earned nothing. Cirrus's voice came strained but steady. I survived while my family died. I ran while my people were lied to, but I will not accept death for crimes I did not commit. The sovereignty requires stability. Your existence threatens that. The sovereignty murdered my family and blamed me. My existence threatens their lies. Her hand remained on console. 60%. Thex's rifle shifted toward the console. I will destroy the array. Then everyone dies for nothing. Ben stepped between Thex and console, hands raised. You do this, you're following the same people who ordered attack on unarmed civilians, that the honor you protect? Something flickered in Thex's expression. Acknowledgement. You understand nothing of Ethereal honor. I understand better than you think. Your people taught you emotion is weakness. But she's been living with emotions for weeks, and she's stronger. Maybe your whole system is built on a lie. 80%, Saris whispered. Thex's rifle moved back to Ben. Loyalty is admirable, but loyalty does not change necessity. No, Sarah said, but truth does. She triggered the broadcast. Transmission erupted across every relay, encrypted files decrypting in real time, evidence streaming to Ethereal and human stations. Security footage showing assassins, communication logs proving conspiracy. And woven through it all, Saris's biometric data from the past weeks, neural implant recording every emotional exposure, every spike of feeling, every luminescent betrayal of what her people claimed would kill her. Proof that an Ithiri could feel deeply and survive. Thex's implant chimed, his pupils contracted, receiving orders. He lowered the rifle. The sovereignty commands immediate withdrawal. You have made yourself a symbol. They cannot execute you quietly now. His gaze found hers. But they will never stop hunting you. You have traded certain death for permanent exile. I know. He turned to leave, paused. You showed courage that is worthy of recognition even from an enemy. Thex withdrew. Moments later, Jiva's voice crackled. Commander Thex has ordered retreat, squadron disengaging. A pause. I am requesting asylum on Gehenna's Reach. I wish to learn what the Crown Heir has learned. Cirrus pulled her hand from console, stumbling. Ben caught her, and her skin blazed against him. Is it done? It's done. Jenny's voice came softer. Transmission reached 47 relay stations before jamming. Too late. Everyone knows now. Jenny? Ben felt systems fluctuating. What's happening? The broadcast required more power than my systems could sustain. I've been running on reserves since encryption started. The AI's voice crackled, fragmenting. I'm glad I got to help, Ben. You were always my favorite engineer. Take care of each other. Jenny, no. The voice faded. Station's hum changed as the AI went dark, core systems transitioning to manual, Jenny's last act routing power to keep them alive. They found Trent in command, forces battered but alive. He looked at Saris, then nodded. You saved us, again. He pulled up sector-wide logs. You're getting messages from all over. Threats from the sovereignty, support from colonies, questions from other Ithiri. You started something. I ended something, Saris said quietly. My old life. Whatever comes next is unknown. Then figure it out here, Trent extended his hand. Gehenna's Reach offers you permanent sanctuary, Crown Heir Saris Vol. She looked at the offered hand, then at Ben. He smiled and she took Trent's hand. I accept, though I am no longer heir to anything. You're heir to whatever you build from here. Trent released her hand. Get some rest. We'll start rebuilding in the morning. Hours later, after medical checks and damage assessments, Ben found Saris in the observation deck, the same viewport where they'd met. But her hands weren't positioned for death anymore, just resting against plating, watching stars. Can't sleep, he asked. I do not want to waste the time. She glanced at him, skin glowing softly. I keep thinking about what you asked, about what I want. And I want to help rebuild Jenny's systems. I want to teach other Ithiri who might question their conditioning. I want to learn what it means to choose emotion instead of suppress it. She turned fully. I want mornings working beside you, afternoons arguing about improvisation, evenings like this where we simply exist together. He stepped closer, close enough to feel her heat. I want that too, all of it. You do not fear losing me, the way you lost your crew? I'm terrified. He took her hand and she glowed where they touched. But the fear doesn't feel like a reason to pull away anymore. It feels like proof that this matters. She studied their joined hands, luminescence pulsing with her heartbeat. My people have a saying, to feel is to fall. They mean it as warning. What if it's not a warning? He moved closer. What if falling is the point? Her free hand came to his face, fever-hot palm against his cheek. Then I am falling, Ben Carver, and I find I do not wish to stop. They kissed there in the observation deck, her skin blazing bright enough that anyone passing would see the light. She didn't suppress it, didn't hide what she felt. Just let herself glow, let herself feel, let herself fall into something her people had taught her would destroy her. When they finally pulled apart, both breathing hard, she rested her forehead against his. "Do you regret stopping me that first night?" He smiled. "Only thing I regret is not asking your name sooner." Outside, the stars wheeled silent. Inside, two people from different worlds held each other and chose connection over fear, passion over safety, together over alone. Gehenna's Reach had been a dying outpost, a place for running and hiding. Now it would become something else. A sanctuary, a symbol, a home. And in the observation deck, where a princess had once prepared to die, she and the engineer who saved her stood together, glowing bright against the infinite dark, proving that sometimes falling is the only way to fly.